as you say that, something that springs to mind is like cultures of honor that evolved, these kind of sheep herders in various regions of Europe that had, because you're herding sheep, there's these conditions where you're a little more vulnerable to having having cattle or whatever stolen from you. Because of this, those people tend to be more, if I'm remembering right, like reactive to being wrong or whatever. And interestingly enough, those people tended to migrate to the south of the United States, and are probably that might be like kind of a holdover of what's created Southern pride, is this holdover from migrating from these herding cultures. So is that the sort of thing that you're talking about
Absolutely, exactly. I mean, this is still very speculative
Mm-hmm.
because we obviously we can't manipulate those things, and there's no causation without manipulation. So we always have to take these results with a grain of salt. But we looked at certain conditions because uh, so we you have, if you think about honesty, there are kind of uh, two aspects to it. So first of all, it's just how honest people, how much they care about honesty, but it's also how they apply honesty towards other people. So is it that they are honest towards their closer social circle, like family and friends, or are they honest towards strangers? And what we studied in our paper is this form of honesty towards stranger, which is so important for advanced societies. So you're not just interacting with your friends and family members, but you engage in economic exchange with strangers, people you have never seen before. Sometimes you will never see them again, and the question is, do you trust they're honest, and are they going to be honest towards you?
Mm-hmm.
And so we tied our results back to kind of indicators how society was organized, let's say 2,000 years ago more. And so in these small groups, whether they were kind of forced because of, let's say, weather conditions or so, to interact with other villages more so
Mm-hmm.
than or just with the people in their own village. And so both kind of societies, small scale societies, might care similarly about honesty, but one group might be just honest towards their in-group members, and the other might be honest also towards out-group members. And so what
Right.
we find is that a lot of these variables that kind of are correlated with societies that had to be open to strangers, that had this experience of kind of dealing with people that they don't know, that they are today show higher levels of this of civic honesty.
Interesting. That makes me think about a lot of consequences in a lot of domains in terms of small town people being tighter knit, but maybe not trusting kind of things on a national level, and thinking all
So
the news is fake and that sort of thing.
just to give you one example, we look
Hmm.
at the pathogene prevalence. So kind of the sickness that was present, and so those smaller groups that were plagued by certain illnesses, they were much more worried about strangers coming into their society
Because their
and
immune
spread
system's
the disease.
compromised,
Yes, exactly.
and their which primes their psychological outgroup bias to be averse to potentially new pathogens coming in.
Yes, exactly. And so
Hmm.
so we find that still, like today, we see differences across countries that varied in the extent to which they were exposed to pathogens. Yeah.
Wow.